For stage 6 of the TugaZ Tour. Get myself ready, get warmed up for this one today. Really looking forward to this one. It's got a few climbs in it, but hopefully hold the pack. This is the Syco-list. Let's get on with it. So here we go then, race 6 in the TugaZ Tour, stage 6 of this one. Chasing the Sun is the circuit for today. Quite a nice circuit. Some of this is stuff that I've raced in the WTRL earlier on this year. So the start here is similar to what I've already raced, so I sort of know some of this circuit. The course today is fairly flat with 2 climbs in it of note. One is up onto the rooftops, and the other is later on the Temple KOM. So yeah, 2 climbs to hang on. Again, mass start, so I knew it would be quick off the pens, but just wanted to try and hold this group. The course in this section through Neokyo is fairly flat, so staying in the pack, holding the wheels and just working with this mixed group of riders was what I was wanting to achieve. I expected it to settle down again in a little while, and I think the first climb will break this race up as we make our way up onto the rooftops. But having the second screen again in the pain cave with source data running in the background on that screen, I'm able to see who's in my category, who I'm racing against. So that's makes it a lot easier for me, so I'm not chasing wheels that I don't need to chase. I'm competing against the people in the race that I'm racing against. So holding these wheels and staying where I am is ideal at the moment, but obviously as we get into the climbs and some of the stronger A riders and that start to move away, there's no point in trying to chase that down. So making the most of the big mass start, just sitting in, holding my position, getting the draft benefits of being in the pack and not doing too much work is where hopefully I can save some energy before we move on to the climb up onto the rooftops. So as you can see, the heads-up displays popped up, and this is the start of the climb up onto the rooftops. Varying sort of segments to it, some 7-8%, some 4-5%, but coming to this in around about 50th place overall out of 138 riders. And I'm just going to try and hold on for as long as I can. If I can stay with this group until the top, then that's a bonus, but there's some really strong A riders in this category. And a few strong B riders as well, so try and stay with this group as long as I can, keep fighting till the top. But as you can see, I've started to drift backwards already as we get nearer to the top. But the thing for me over the top of this is obviously my weight per kilo going over the top. I lose that, but obviously the descent, I should be able to work on the descent and try and bring it back. So we're over the top now, making our way on the descent, 56th place. I've lost 2-3 seconds to the group in front. So as you can see here, getting the aero tuck, trying to really work now to try and see if I can put some sprint efforts in to try and bridge this gap to that group in front so that there's a bigger group for me to work with. Looking at the top right hand map screen, there are some green dots in that group ahead of us, so there are some riders that are my race category. So if I can get back across them like I nearly am now, bridging across, then I can work with these as well later on in the race. So there you go, back across that group. About 8 riders of us now, so I'm just staying on the pedals, staying with them. Hopefully it'll settle in a little while and I'll be able to get some recovery in as its section sort of flattens out now as we head out towards the Temple KOM, which would be about halfway in this race. But we're 15 minutes in, just over 6 miles done, and I've averaged 300 watts so far. So problem again today with my heart rate monitor, it's really not picking up. There was points where I was registering about an 80 beats per minute heart rate, which is definitely not the case. I was definitely in the 160s at one point when it was registering that, but not sure what's going on with the heart rate monitor. I'm still trying to work that out. It's had a new battery, I've had a new strap, but it might be time for something different, I think. So we're just leaving the city streets of Neokyo behind us now and heading out into the countryside. Obviously a bit of gravel and stuff here, but the group's still staying together, still working well. There's a bit of a mixed group, I think. Some A riders, some B riders, but obviously I know who I've got to sort of stay with and who not to worry too much about. The main rider for me in this group is in the navy blue Wahoo kit. That's the rider that's in my category, and there's a couple of others as well, but knowing who's around me and who I'm competing against makes it a big difference, because I know certain things I don't have to chase down and I can let people ride off the front if they're not in my category. But I know the blue kit in that Wahoo kit is somebody that I'm competing against, so as we go on, hopefully I can just hold that wheel and just monitor that person as we go up over the Temple KOM in a little while. So we're just coming up to about halfway into this race now, 25 minutes in. Our group's working well, it's settled down quite nicely and people are working well. We're just coming through the country sprint we've just had, and nobody's really attacking or making moves. We're just sort of rolling through, doing a bit on the front and rolling off again. Still averaging 280 watts. Heart rate seems to be a bit better now, monitoring wise. And yeah, like I said, just we are a group of sort of B riders, some A riders in there, and we are properly racing. The gap ahead to the people in front of us is about 16 seconds. We have picked off a couple of sort of riders that have dropped off that front group, but knowing that we're coming out towards the Temple KOM, it's going to be a case of who can stay in the wheels as we make that climb. So we're just pushing out now to the Temple KOM, which is 1.5 miles in length, average gradient, 3.6% as you can see on the left hand side there. I can't remember the last time I've done this climb before. I have done it, but obviously it's showing I've not done it in the last 90 days because I've got no PR data there. But the idea here is just to try and stay with this group, don't want to be dropped at all in this one. This, in my head, I'm thinking these are B riders. This is the group that I should be riding with. There's nobody in here that surprises me that I shouldn't be able to stay with. So just got to try and hold the watts, stay on the pedals, follow these moves, and in any of the blue sections that come up, just try and get a bit of rest, try and recover a little bit before the next start. So sort of coming through here, 8%, staying in the group, trying just drop in a little bit there. So I've just got out the saddle, push back on, staying in there. You still get a bit of draft benefit on the climb, so holding the wheels well. That Wahoo kit rider's still there, that I know that we're competing in the same race series, so stay with him and see where we get on as we move forward to the next kick on this climb. Nearly at the top of this one, and I know when we get to the top of this I need to push on the descent as well. Not easing off, not trying to recover too much. I need to stay on the gas and keep going, push down the other side. As the group ahead of us is 3, 4, 5 seconds, some of the group in front, so if I can push across to that group, make our group a bit bigger again so we can get some respite. So as you can see here, a few of us are really pushing on the pedals. Those two riders in front of me now are not my category, they're A riders, so I don't have to worry about them. My main competitor are the two in the blue now, the blue Wahoo kit and the other rider there in the blue with the blonde hair. They're the two that are in my category, they're the two that I need to compete with, so just holding their wheels, not letting them get away is the main thing here. But we're descending well here, getting down through this descent. We've put 35 seconds in the group behind us, and we've got about 13 seconds to gain on the group in front of us, so got to stay here now. The climbing's done for today, just over 5 miles to go in this one, so push on to the finish line and hopefully try and get a top 10 finish. So we've got a little group form now. I think there's 4 of us that are sort of working together really well. We're not really gaining on the group in front of us, but the 4 of us are working well. 2 competitors there in the blue, both blue kits. They're in my category of this race, so just monitoring them, seeing what they're doing, making sure I don't get dropped by them. The other person is just a freewheel for me. Just if they make a move, I'll just follow them. Here, just having to chase down, as you can see, putting in an effort just to bridge that gap, not wanting them to get away. Manage that quite well. All it does is brings the other riders with me as well. So we've now become a group of 5. I don't know where the other riders come from, but we're a group of 5, so try and sit in as much as I can, recover as much as I can, with just over 2 miles to go. So we're into the final mile now. Power figures for this one average 275 watts so far. Neutralized power is just under 300, I think, looking at the other screen. So I know that this is a flat finish. I know where the sprint is going to be because it's just after the race pens. So we're going to come up through here in a minute, take a left and go back round on ourselves towards the finish line. I don't have a massive sprint, so I'm just going to see what the other riders do. I might have to go a little bit earlier, but see where we go. Just come around this bend, open up my sprint now. And as you can see, yeah, just pipped by the other rider there. 9th place. But there you go then, that's stage 6 of the TugaZ tour completed. Really enjoyed that ride today. If you've liked this video, please click that like button, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.